Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Unmedicated and Educated with Keita Rose. I'm Keita Rose, and here we deep dive, dissect, and sometimes diagnose, because it seems everyone, including myself, has lost their damn minds. If you are new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. If you are an OG, then you already know what the is going on. I'm doing a reality recap. So like, share, subscribe, talk shit in the comments, tell me how you really feel. Really quick, this channel and all things Keita are sponsored by KeitaSaidIt.com. So if you don't want to see me bouncing ass for quarters, I'm a single mom, bouncing ass for quarters, you'd support me by buying my merch. Thank you. You still might see me bouncing that ass for quarters though. You know what I mean? Inflation is crazy. Shit's going on. Y'all, this episode of Love After Lockup is called Cut the Cameras, and oh, wow. I mean, I have never just been so invested in a show like I am invested in Love After Lockup season, what is this, 5, 4? The new season. It's bomb. You have to go watch it. If you do watch it, tell me who your favorite couple is. If you don't, start watching it now. We're only on episode 2. We're going to start off with Teenie and Rob. Now, again, Teenie, single mom, beautiful woman, 2 beautiful kids. Last episode, I was like, where's Rob's family? And then finally, he's like, hey, I want you to go to lunch with my mom. We find out that the reason why Teenie and Rob's mom have not communicated in 3 years is because Rob gave his mom $500 through Teenie and then asked for it back. Indian given like a mofo. And Rob never explained to his mom that he was the one that wanted the money back. So she's looking at Teenie like she's the bad guy, right? You gave me something and now you're taking it away. I don't want anything to do with you. Now, I don't think it was worth 3 years of strife. I mean, damn, it was only $500, but couple weeks, yeah, I'm mad at you. Couple weeks, I don't got shit to do with you. I don't want anything to do with you. So Rob's mom is really disrespectful, but in a way in which I can't really put my finger on it, but she's disrespectful. Like, she's gonna say whatever she wants to you, and then when she sees you upset, like when she tries to get a rise out of you, but then when she gets that rise, she retreats back like, oh, no, I didn't know, or oh, my bad. And that's exactly what happened during the meeting. Like, Rob's mom is talking about how much she loves the ex, what the ex done for her, and how the ex was always, a good communicator and they had a strong bond. And rightfully so, Teenie's like, I'm getting the I'm getting the out of here. Because that is disrespectful. Okay? You sitting up here and you want to have a conversation with me. You got a problem with me, then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it adult to adult, woman to woman. Don't bring up no other bitch. I'm with Teenie. Don't bring up no other bitch while we're having a conversation, especially not his ex-bitch, because she's not here now. Like Teenie said, every weekend I'm there with my kids. I put money on his books. I make sure that his mental, physical, because they be working out online, physical is well put and well together. Okay? You should be thanking me. Instead, you're talking about his ex. Please. Anywho, so Teenie gets up and she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna have this conversation. And the mom's like, Teenie, no, like, talk to me, my bad, oops. And sometimes with people like that want to get a rise out of you or want to see how far they can take you, you gotta show them just as far as you'll go, right? Like, I might have thrown a drink in her face, but Teenie decided to be very respectful. She has a lot of class, and she decides to get up and like walk away. So the mom's calling her back. I didn't know these things, my bad, I'm sorry. And Teenie's like, to say that you didn't try to shoot me down, but you have a loaded gun and you're coming to this conversation loaded is pretty rich. You wanted to shoot me down. You wanted to hurt me. And that's exactly what you did. Literally, Teenie's in tears, right? And I'm almost in tears too, because I'm like, what the fuck is your problem, girl? We took $500 away from you 3 damn years ago. You ain't re-up yet. You couldn't get $500. I mean, damn. I get that Rob's mom's in a tough financial situation, but unfortunately, and maybe I'm tripping, and y'all can tell me in the comments if I'm tripping. I know that people go through hardships, ups and downs, but as a parent, you shouldn't be asking your kids for money. You had a longer time in life to get your shit together, and it's not my fault or Rob's fault that you didn't, and you still don't have your shit together. You're an able-bodied woman. Get a second job. Do what you gotta do. I don't know. She says she's taking care of her mom, but again, I don't know. I can help you out where we can help you out, but it is not my sole responsibility as your child to make sure that you are a functional and functioning adult. It's not. I don't give a fuck. So they end the conversation and mom's like, I might like her. And like I said, with people like that, you gotta show them like, yeah, whatever level you trying to take me at, I'ma go. You trying to drag me down to hell? Well, meet you there, bitch. Okay? Bring your ice cubes. Because then it's almost like bullying a bully. Like, I'm not a bully, but you can't bully me, basically. I'm not going to go out of my way to hurt you or say something disrespectful or be intentionally rude or nasty. But if you bring that energy my way, bitch, I got something coming for you. Like, I'm nice and I'm polite, but ain't shit sweet over here. And that's exactly what Teenie had to show her. And I really like the fact that Teenie stood up for herself and was willing to walk away. And I like the fact that in front of her, right in front of her face, Teenie was like, listen, if you came in here hating me, you can leave out of here with those same feelings. I'm not going to clear shit up. Like, I liked how she handled that. So then we go to Ayonna and Jamal.
Oh my God.
Ayonna is really... It's exhausting. Ayonna's exhausting. She has a small baby. We find out in this episode that she does have another child. She has a 9-year-old that's been staying with her mom. I guess after she had the baby, she was going through postpartum and a lot of depression. Her mom took, reign over the kid, and they just kind of got used to that dynamic, She still sees the child. She still hangs out with the child. But who raises the child? Her mother does. And listen, when I got out of the military and I started going to college really kicked my ass. I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was. So I was very stressed out, and plus I was dealing with some depression. So my mom decided to step in and help me raise my son. She lived down the street with my dad, and they, helped me take him to and fro to daycare and different things like that. But as far as how much time I spent with my child, I seen him every single day. I prepared meals, and then finally when I got myself together, maybe 6 or 7 months, when I got the hang of school and midterms and exams weren't making me want to kill myself, I got my son back. Like, I don't know. This whole, we got comfortable with the dynamic. I could never get comfortable with, not raising my child. Yes, I want my parents involved because they did such a great job raising me, and I don't have any worries that they won't be a great, role model and influence to my child, but that's not their job. Like how we were talking about, it's not Rob and Teenie's job to make sure that his mom is functioning in this world. It's not your parents' job to make sure that your kids are taken care of. You're the parent, the grandmama, not the baby, like Jocelyn voice. You're the parent. You need to be able to raise that baby. So I don't really like that she was like, oh, we got cool with that dynamic, especially when going on through the episode, you can see how tired her mom looks. Her mom still has to work. Her mom, I didn't see a husband in the picture, right? So you see how tired she is. She's taking care of your 9-year-old. Now you're back at your mom's house asking her to take care of Amira, your 3-year-old, 2-year-old, because you're about to go to jail. So she's basically getting her affairs in order, and Lexi picks her up. I don't know. Lexi is like the bomb friend, right? Lexi strips with her. Lexi watches her child when she needs it. Lexi gives her advice. Lexi picks her up because she can't drive. She doesn't have a license because her license is expired, or suspended rather, because of all these DUIs that she gets and whatnot. Lexi is really that ride or die friend. So they get in the car, and Lexi's like, so you're about to go to jail. And she's like, yeah, I got to go see Jamal, and I got to hang out with Jamal. And Lexi's like, you're about to go to jail. And you're kind of just acting like it's not a big deal, like it's not anything to worry about. And it is a huge deal. You're about to leave your child. You're not going to be able to make money for however long the judge sentenced you to. Like, I think you need to take this a little bit more serious. And Ayonna's just kind of laid back, whatever. So Jamal calls, she answers the phone, and Lexi wants to talk to Jamal. She's like, I've seen my friend get her heart broken a lot, and I don't want to see that again because rightfully so, she gonna come and cry to me about your bitch ass. So I want to make sure that you're not gonna hurt her. Are you good? And he's like, yeah, we good, shit, we all right, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, I just want to make sure that my friend isn't gonna get her heart broken. Well, she not, she not, we straight, shit. And she's like, well, y'all haven't really known each other. Y'all really didn't build up the connection. You guys haven't seen what it feels like to date each other outside of you being in prison. So how are you sure? How are you 100% for sure that this is gonna work? Shit, just, hey, Yana, boopy. They call each other boopy. It's fucking annoying. Boopy. Tell that bitch Lexi, just get ready to be a bridesmaid. And then Ayonna's like, oh yeah, period. I'm very happy with that. You didn't really answer her questions. You didn't really give her any answers that would make me feel secure in this relationship. You haven't really thought this out, but We gonna get married, period. You my husband, period. One thing I found interesting about what Ayonna was saying prior to the conversation with Lexi and Jamal was Ayonna was like, man, I don't know how me going to jail is gonna affect our relationship. Like, I don't know if I can keep this connection going. And it's like, this is your husband, this is Boopy. This, instead of being with your children on the last day that you have out, you're deciding to go and visit him because you finally got, permission to visit him. So, and this is your man, your husband, your everything. But you don't know if you can keep a connection together for 2 weeks or 90 days. You think that he's going to leave you, or worst, cheat on you during these 15 days to 90 days that you're in jail. Wow. But this is your husband, and Lexi need to get ready to be a bridesmaid. If I was Lexi, I wouldn't spend shit money on that wedding. Absolutely not. Y'all playing, okay? I just found that to be weird because she was like, I know that Jamal is a ladies' man, and of course he is. Of course he's a ladies' man. And of course he's talking to other women, and I can confidently say that because he was in a full-blown relationship with Ayonna's best friend before him and Ayonna got together. So you already know what kind of dog he is, and you already know what kind of dirt he does. You do the same type of dirt. She's talking about if I find out Jamal is dating anybody, I'm gonna go to jail. Okay, yes, let's spend more time away from our children. I keep saying child because the little girl the only one we see. Anywho, I just found that conversation to be extremely interesting. So, before Lexi picks her up, she sees her kids, but she's not really involved because she has to go up to the bathroom and twerk for Jamal. And she mentions her being so involved with him sexually. I just can't wait. And it's weird to me, right? Because y'all never had a relationship before he got to jail because your best friend was with him. Yet you are so excited to have sex with him because you just know it's going to be so good. She even states that she's addicted to sex and she just can't wait for him to get out. I'm certainly sure that she tried that prior to him going into jail. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, that she tried that while her best friend was in that house and they were together and her best friend and him had a relationship. That's how you know it's so good. That's why you can't wait for it. I don't know. Let me know if I'm tripping in the comments, but something about how they move, they are grimy. And I feel like Lexi is the only one with some damn common sense. Listen, birds of a feather flock together, but I got a couple hoes that I'm cool with, and that don't mean we all hoes, but Lexi is the only one, in my opinion, that got common fucking sense. Moving along. So there's a new couple that they introduced, Rick and Sam. They're both in their 50s, and Rick was basically saying that he was a little bit lonely, so he remembered that he dated this woman in high school. He didn't take it seriously because he's a ladies' man, but when he went to go look her up on the internet, he found her pen pal profile. So I don't know, maybe I'm just different, but if I'm looking up somebody from high school or somebody that I might be interested in rekindling a relationship with and their pen pal profile pops up, I'm gonna let go of that thought. I'm gonna delete that thought from my head. I don't wanna be with a criminal. But it didn't deter him. He ended up writing her a letter, putting some photos in there, and sending it to her. Samantha says that she goes to her bunk, she sees a manila envelope, she opens it up, it's Rick, she calls him. As soon as she hears his voice, it's over with. Love at first sound. Anywho's, so the scene opens up with Rick shopping with his nieces, and his nieces are really lovely women. You could tell that they really care about him. I guess they didn't have a father growing up, so he's like their father. They just love him a lot, I can tell. And so, Samantha's on the phone, and he's like, hey, did you get that money? Immediately red flag. So one of the nieces is a correctional officer, and she's like, well, how much money are you giving her? Why are you sending her money? And he's like, don't worry about it. Rick is really closed off. He doesn't want to talk about this. He just wants to be left alone. One of those people that are like, I might be making the wrong decision, but it's my decision to make. Please do not butt into my business. But that doesn't stop his nieces. His nieces are like, nah. You're like a dad to me. I'm finna find out what's going on. So one of his nieces are like, I'm a correctional officer, and I see this all the time. I love you, and they say a lot over the phone. That jail talk, right? I love you. You're everything, da-da-da-da-da. But really, he has a wife or she has a husband. They got a couple of side chicks. Somebody's pregnant. Basically saying that you can't always trust what an inmate is saying over the phone because they're untrustworthy, hence why they're criminals. Anywho's, Rick's like, it'll be different with her. I really hope I don't get my heart broken, but he starts to cry. And that's when I started to tear up during the episode. I'm like, oh shit. He's starting to cry because it's one of those things this may not work out. There's a 90% chance that I will get my heart broken and that I am wasting my time. But something about the situation makes me want to stay in it. And I want to try. I want to give it a chance. So he starts crying, and then his nieces start crying, and then I started crying because I was like, damn, I hope that they make it. I hope that she gets out and she is who she says she is, because it's something about dating when you're a little bit older, when you're kind of ready to just settle it back down. You know, people always talk about how you need to find somebody in your 20s and you need to find somebody in your 30s, but the truth is you could be with somebody for 30 years and they could die, right? And now you're back to the drawing board. You don't want to die alone. You don't want to be alone. So you have to get back out there at 50 and 60 years old. So you hope that who you're dating is the real deal. So that's what I hope for Rick, because he hasn't shown us otherwise that he's a bad person, that he deserves to be played. We'll find out. Now, what I will say is Samantha used to be bad back in the day, and she's still a pretty woman now. So I feel like she got some finessing in her. I don't know. I hope she's genuine in who she is and what she displays to him, but honey looks like she's been finessing for a minute. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm with the nieces on this one. Stop sending her money. So then we have Joey and Mike. Now, y'all already know Mike gets on my fucking nerves. I'm not gonna even lie to you, because Joey just seems very vulnerable. You'll remember last week that they talked about the alcoholism that's all through Joey's family, the drug use that's all through Joey's family. He's just had a hard life. He's not gotten a break. And so now he meets Mike. He really wants to make it work. He thinks that Mike's getting out soon. He wants a husband. He wants a new life. He might move out of his parents' house to be with Mike. And so I really don't want Mike to break his heart. And Mike is saying shit like, I don't want to hurt you. I hope I don't rob you. I hope I don't hurt you. I hope I don't break up with you. I hope I don't run away when you hold me accountable. He says shit like that. Not a good sign. Really big red flag. So the scene starts off with Joey talking about how after they got off the phone, you know, Mike's like, your family's really lovely. I really love them. And he's like, well, after you got off the phone, you know, my sister kind of dropped a bombshell on the family, and she let everybody know that I relapsed after being 12 years, you know, sober, 12 years clean. Joey used to do alcohol, right? Drink alcohol, meth, and other substances. Copious amounts of drugs, right? And Mike is a user too. So instead of Mike encouraging Joey to stay clean, instead of Mike saying, let's do something like take a walk, drink some water, eat a healthy meal, he's like, yeah, let's go back to that same hotel you used to use in. Let's get fucked up. And when Joey's dad found out that Joey relapsed, he was really hurt. The whole family was in tears. It was a really sad situation. And honestly, I wish that Mike would have seen that. I wish that Mike would have stayed on the phone for the whole family dinner to see that when you're an influence on somebody that is weaker, on somebody that's easily influenced, and you allow them or encourage them to make bad decisions, you're not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting the people around them that care about him. You are ruining a family, quite literally ruining their family. I don't want Joey with Mike, period. I hope they break up, honestly. So after they get done with that conversation, you know, like Joey's like, so I'm really excited about you getting out. And he's like, yeah, about that, I don't know. And he's like, well, let's talk about it. What's the situation? What are they saying? What are your charges? What's going on? And what I always found funny is the fact that like the inmate has more information on, of course, it's their situation, so they have more information on when they're getting out. But I feel like that should be like in a public portal somewhere where you can see when that inmate is getting out. Because here I am talking to you thinking you're about to get out in a couple weeks, so I'm planning a life. I'm getting you, you know, I'm getting your apartment ready. I'm getting you clothes. I might be setting you up with a job. And lo and behold, you're not on parole. Or you're not getting out. And they don't really like to tell the people on the other side that, because you might give up on me. You might hang up on me. You might not talk to me anymore. And then I won't have what I want, which is communication with you, which is money on my books from you, which is the convenience of having somebody on the outside. I'm not gonna have that. So I'm gonna withhold information, and that's fucking unfair. I also think, now that I think about it, I also think that should be public, you know, domain. That should be public information, because let's say I'm walking down the street and Marissa beats my ass with a tire iron, right? What the fuck? And she goes to jail. I'd like to know when this person is getting out of jail. I'd like to know when they're about to be paroled, when they're about to be released, like, so that they don't come back and beat my ass again. I think this should be public knowledge. I don't know. Tell me if I'm tripping in the comments. So basically, Mike is telling the producers, so he hasn't told Joey yet, but he's telling the producers over the phone that, you know, the judge might give me 6 years. Like, I might be in here for another 6 years, and Joey thinks that I'm getting out in a couple of weeks. And it's like, you motherfucker. You lying, manipulative motherfucker. Oh, that really pissed me off. I'm like, damn, like, Mike, really needs some help and he needs to be with somebody else. He needs to be with somebody, another career criminal. I'm sure you can find one in prison. Joey is a really sweet soul. He has a really nice family. Yeah, okay, he's vulnerable. He might be a little weak. Like, he can't stand up for himself and say, like, no, I don't want to do this or that. He falls into temptation a lot and he is easily influenced, which is why he should not be with Mike at all, period. I want Mike to stay away from Joey. Let me know what you guys think. So then they transition to Shantae and True. So if you remember from last week, I said that I didn't really know what their storyline was. Like, I really don't know what the business is because they really introduced us to them last week, but they didn't say nothing. This week, we found out a little bit more. So True, which I still don't know what he's in jail for. Maybe burglary. We'll say burglary. I'll figure it out. But True is in a culinary arts program in jail. They both have a love for cooking, and the scene starts off with True being like, yeah, I can make lasagna, curry lasagna. I can make biscuits, spaghetti, whatever you want. And, you know, Shantae likes to cook too. So Shantae tells us that her and True's dream is to open up a restaurant. And while I believe that that is just lovely, I know that like 60 to 70% of restaurants that open up within the first year fail. Like the restaurant business is no freaking joke. And I know how particular and how serious I get about my food. So I don't really like to try new things. So when you give a restaurant a try, you really gotta that restaurant really has to perform. They have to have great marketing. The place needs to be clean. The reviews needs to be good. The food needs to be good. Come out on time. Be hot. The waitresses and waiters need to be respectful. Like a lot goes into you can't just make some curry fucking lasagna, throw it on a plate, right? And here, eat. No, it's not like that. So a lot goes into it, and I don't really know if she understands that. But what I like about Shantae is she's gonna get it, right? Like, she wants to make sure that she accomplishes this goal. So she talks to a restaurant advisor. And the restaurant advisor is this really beautiful black lady, right? Owns a restaurant, owns many, knows really what she's talking about. So they sit down and True gets on the phone. And I always think it's funny when they want to incorporate the inmate into the conversation. Like, hold on real quick. I got to press all these buttons because my man needs to hear this. He's my business partner. He's just in prison right now. And it's like, what a great first impression. So True's like, yeah, you know, I've been cooking this shit. And so, yeah, we finna open up a restaurant. So how long you think that this shit finna take, before we pop off and make a lot of money? And the restaurant advisor's like, honestly, if you're in it for the money, then this is not the right business to be in it for. You know, you gotta be in it for the passion because the money might not come for another 2 years. And True damn, 2 years? That's pretty long. I was thinking this shit was gonna pop off in 2 months or something. What the fuck are you talking about? No, it isn't. It isn't. It's a business. And that is the idea that popped into my head, or the question that popped into my head last week when he was talking about owning this restaurant and how Shantae would have to listen to him. It's like, you're good at cooking, rightfully so. Shantae's good at cooking, but who's gonna handle the business aspect of it? True? You don't know the first thing about owning a business. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so for you to be like, Shantae has to listen to me, yeah, that's rich. Hell no. What I did like about the restaurant advisor, though, was that she was like, hey, she peeped that shit early. She was like, hey, I think you should keep this shit in your name, or at least put half of it in your name, because people come and go, you know, and you don't want to lose what you've worked hard for. And especially not to somebody that you don't know if you can trust. Just last week, Shantae was talking about she didn't know if Leviticus the demon dropped True into her life or it was the Lord, right? And now we're like, yeah, I trust him with this $100,000 business. Shantae's trying to get a $100,000 loan. You're gonna start off with 1%, and I even think that that's too much, but we're gonna give you 1% and see how you do with it, and see what you do and what you can come up with and how you can flip that to 2% in the next year. Other than that, hell no. So then it hops back on to Ayonna and Jamal. Of course, I told you already, Ayonna's bouncing her ass in the bathroom. She's going to jail soon. She really doesn't have much of a plan, but she needs to make sure that Jamal remembers what that fat ass looks like in a thong so that he doesn't, I don't know, that satisfies him enough for him not to do anything. And she's also very concerned that he's going to sleep with other women, as she should be, because he is. He's gonna cheat on her immediately. As soon as if he's not cheating on her now, as soon as he gets a chance to, he's gonna cheat on her, period, point blank. So then we go to Teenie and Rob. After that big blow up between Rob's mom and Teenie, Rob hasn't really hit her up. He hasn't checked on her. He hasn't asked about the kids. He hasn't had any contact with her. So what does Teenie do? She cuts off all Wi-Fi. Fuck it. You're not gonna see what's going on. Immediately once she does that, Rob hits her up like, hey, did you figure out what's going on with the Wi-Fi? Like, is it cable? Is it Spectrum? What's happening? And Teenie's like, no, it's not Spectrum. I cut you off because I wanted a night to myself. And I really like that Teenie said that because she's like, yeah, I mean, let that mind wander, right? I needed a night by myself without you monitoring me.
Who knows what the I did.
But we already know that Teenie's like super fucking faithful and really cares about her relationship, so she didn't do anything. But I just like that she let Rob's mind wander. So immediately she's like, you know, you never really had my back with the mom situation. You didn't ask me what's going on. Like, what the fuck is up? And he's like, my bad, babe. You know, I've been really busy, da-da-da-da. And Rob has some secrets that he has kept from Teenie, and we haven't figured out yet what they are. I mean, we did, but she hasn't. Rob lets us know, and the producers know, that he's had this tattoo of his ex-girlfriend on his arm for a large amount of time, and he's hid that from her the whole time. When he's talking to her, he doesn't, you know, show her the arm. He doesn't have his shirt off ever. And I'm like, what a jackass. Like, what a rude individual. First of all, there's nothing I can do about a tattoo, so you might as well show me, especially if it's in a relationship prior to me. Okay, you got your ex tatted. When you get out, you're gonna cover it up. So he's trying to cover it up prior to seeing Teenie, and he doesn't want to let her know, and he's laughing about it like it's fucking funny. And I mean, I don't think that the tattoo is such a huge deal. Not we've all, but a lot of us have gotten tattoos that we regret that we just cover up. But it's the fact that you are so keen on lying. This is the fact that pisses me off about Rob. He is so keen on keeping shit a secret or withholding the truth. Stop. Be honest. And that shit really hurts Teenie, and it really breaks her down because she expresses to him, after he's expressed to her that, you know, the people called him and let him know that, you know, it would be better if he just stayed in jail for 2 more months instead of taking parole, because then he can travel and do different things. So he went ahead and he took that. He took the deal, and he's going to stay in a little longer. And it's like, why the fuck didn't you tell me that? He likes holding information back and lying. He lies by not only flat out blatantly lying, right? Covering up his arm and nothing to see here, right? For the tattoo, but he also lies by omitting the truth. You didn't ask, so I didn't tell you. If you don't ask, then I'm not gonna give you the answer. And it's like, it's freaking bullshit, honestly. And Teenie can do so much better. I'm sorry. Teenie is beautiful. She's smart. She's raised her kids by herself. Her kids are well-mannered. They look good. The house is clean. Damn it, Teenie. I mean, I know that she really loves Rob, but that type of shit really hurts her because she's like, listen, on the outside world, when two people have each other physically, they have a lot of sex, they attach sexually, they attach through other things, and they never really work on the bond that it takes to build when you're just having communication, right? When you're just communicating. But me and Rob have really built that bond with each other because we can't have sex. It's not like we can rely on having sex. A lot of couples, they stay together because the sex is good. That's the only thing keeping them together. They got 3 kids, a 1-bedroom apartment, they share a car, and they got good sex. They hate each other, but it's like, it is what it is. So she felt like her and Rob really were best friends, really are best friends. They have a bond with each other. And Rob continuously shows her time after time after time that he doesn't protect her, right? He didn't protect her with the mom situation, that he's not telling the truth. He lied about the tattoo, and that he's going to make decisions without her. He made a decision to stay in 2 months longer. So she calculates that up in her head, and she's like, damn, that's 8 more weeks, 8 more weekends that we have to spend seeing you. You know, I thought you were going to be here during Cheyenne's birthday. You're not going to be here. It's just a mess. It's a mess, and he doesn't get it, and I don't think that he's ever going to get it because he's been in jail his whole life. The jailhouse rules, the jailhouse laws, how you treat each other in jail is what he believes that is what he thinks will go in the real world. He thinks that we all act like this. This is natural. This is regular. It's not. We communicate. We are honest. We let our partners know when we're faced with another, 6 months, 2 months, some more time in jail. And he didn't do that at all. I think that Teenie is going to see that he isn't the right one for her. He hasn't done enough yet to make her want to leave the relationship. Fingers crossed in the middle of this season. Hopefully he does. And this could be done. Because I see Teenie with like this strong black man that believes in God, that can come in and teach the kids about structure. And I see her having this really beautiful life and this really beautiful family. Do I see her having that with Rob? So basically, they end the episode with Shantae and True. And I think that it's really, really funny. I laughed at this scene, baby. I cackled. Because Shantae goes into the scene meeting up with her stepbrother Fred. And Fred and True have served some time together. In fact, it wasn't the devil or the Lord that brought True into Shantae's path. It was Fred. He's the one that hooked them up. And so Fred paroled to Shantae's house. And so the only people that were at Shantae's house was Fred, her stepbrother, right, and her kids. Yet $5,000 was missing from her safe. She knows for a fact that Fred took that money from her. So all she wants to do is get it back. She comes in. Fred comes into the scene limping, right? He got crutches. He's very crippled, right? He's walking around. And so Shantae's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And Fred's like, my boss dropped a 75-pound weight on my foot. You can tell Shantae don't give a shit about Fred no more because she said, anyway, listen, I just want my money. I just want the money. Fred looks like a liar. Let's just put it out there. Fred looks like a liar. He's absolutely lying. He took that money. He took that money as soon as he found out the combination to the safe. He took the money. Okay? But Fred is like,
I don't really know why you accusing me of the shit I probably did, but I'ma make it right. You know, I don't know. I can't give you it all, but I'ma make it right.
And Shantae's like, all right, hold on, True calling. So True call, all right, answer the phone. And True like, what's up, Fred? Fred like, hey, bro, what's going on? True gets straight to the business. Now, that's one thing that I like about True. He got straight to the business. What's up? Where that money at? Where that money that you stole from Shantae? And Fred already lying.
I mean, I know that basically y'all can't trust me, and it really hurts me in my heart that my little sister don't believe me, but it's because I'm untrustworthy and because I stole that $5,000. But when you get out, bro, I got you. I'm not gonna give you $5,000, but what I will do is give you however much I can scrounge.
However much I can scroungel up. Now I know what you're thinking. What's scrounge? What's scroungel up? Is that a word? No, I made it up. But anyways, we know that Fred is lying. He's lying his ass off. You stole that money, period. And when True comes out, he's going to beat your ass. So please, find $5,000, work an extra job, sell your good foot, figure out how you're gonna come up with this money because True isn't playing. True's like, all right, bro, make it right, do the right thing. So it ends on that very threatening note. Do the right thing because if you don't, you're going to get your ass beat. Do you think Ayonna will finally get it together or do you think that she's a lost cause? Do you think Shantae and True are gonna own a successful restaurant business or do you believe that True is gonna truly rob her for the rest of her money and leave her? Do you believe that Rob and Teenie make a good match? Like I physically, I think that they look good together. But do you think that they make a good match and that Rob is going to be a good father figure for Teenie's children? And with this new couple, Sam and Rick, doesn't Sam look like a finesser? And do you believe that Rick is about to get finesse and that his nieces are right to be scared and concerned for his well-being? Do you think Joey will ever leave Mike? You know, Joey was like, I think that he's scared to tell me how long he might be in there because I might leave him and leaving him is a possibility. And I laughed as soon as he said that because we know and Mike knows you're not going anywhere. Or are we tripping? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'll hit you up when I watch episode 3. I'll holla.